David, this has been terrific. Anything else you want to talk about or tell us?
Um, I don't think so. I have some cool things that I'm excited about, but it's weird art. Like I have these painters who are making Last Jewish Waiter paintings, and I don't really know why. I don't know why I'm doing it, and I don't really know what it's for, but I'm excited about it because I've been seeing some art like the last couple of days come back to me. Like I've been asking these painters to do this stuff.
What kind of subjects? I mean, is it paintings of cats with people? I mean, what are the
It's
subjects of the
one of
painting?
them is like it's a take on a Grateful Dead painting. It's like a psychedelic rock
Okay,
poster for the Last Jewish Waiter, and I'm very excited about that. I know
okay.
it seems sad to be. I see.
I'm looking behind me because I don't know if you can see my
I see
Woodstock
what's up.
poster.
That was the first thing I saw.
All right.
That was
You
the
brought
first.
up Grateful Dead. Are you a Deadhead?
Uh, I love the Dead. I
Do
love.
you?
Deadheads don't exist anymore, but I
Well,
love the Dead.
the last time I was in Katz's was about 3.5 years ago, about 1 o'clock in the morning, coming back from Brooklyn from having seen Further in Coney Island
But
and seeing Lesh and Ware. So
I'm like a crazy person about that. Like without Jerry, it's
it's
it's not happening. Jerry, like, I'm a huge Jerry Garcia fan. I actually got to interview Bob Weir once when I was a kid at Asbury Park.
It's 10 o'clock.
He played with Rat Dog, and
yeah.
I interviewed him, and I was a total jerk to him. I was like, what was it like to be friends with Jerry? It must suck that Jerry's not around. I was like, I think I almost did it on purpose, but like I couldn't resist it. You know what I mean? Like, but for me, like I think Bob Weir is great. I think he's an underrated guitar player. I don't love his singing. I don't love his songwriting, but I love a lot of Dead songs that Bobby sings on. I'm just such a Jerry fan. Like everything that Jerry does is pretty flawless, and it's I don't know.
I love Jerry, but I was always made the point to be on Phil's side during the shows. Uh,
Yeah, Phil drops the bottom. You
yeah.
know what I mean? But it's like
I'll tell you though, Ware is doing. He has this studio he built out in San Rafael, California, called TRI Studios, which he describes as the ultimate playpen for musicians. And it was built specifically for streaming uh, audio and video.
yeah, they just did that thing, right? They just did something from there. They did
Well,
it.
they did a Move Me Brightly in conjunction with the Jerry's 70th birthday video or movie that Justin Kreutzmann made. But he does live streaming shows, usually on Wednesdays when he's in town. And he'll play with everybody from Dave Schools. He's played with Phil there. In fact, just the two of them, acoustic guitar and Phil's bass,
I love
playing. And some fantastic shows. He did a show about a year and a half ago with the guys from the National that
Right.
was amazing. Now, you're
Yeah.
right, he can't sing anymore. He speaks, sings, and kind
Who,
of.
Bobby does, or the national guy does?
What's that?
Bobby speaks, sings, or the national guy?
No, no, no. Well, both of them too, but Bobby definitely did. It's a really interesting format to see him because it's a very small studio and it does have a live audience there, and he's playing with some incredible musicians, and you don't have to go anywhere. It's on your computer screen.
That is awesome. And I mean, like, I'm just such a weirdo because I think to myself, like, we really missed that with Jerry. Like, especially at the end, we only got these gigantic stadium shows where poor Jerry's nodding on stage and he's too high to play and you can't hear him. And, like, imagine if we could have seen Reckoning, like an acoustic small, like if Jerry could show up at this thing. Like, I love his voice and I love the way he plays the guitar. It's like he's got such a natural thing.
Well, he was a brilliant guitarist. I used to record, in fact, and I'll show you here. Let's see, what do I have? A Keystone Show from Jerry and Merle, a Nassau Coliseum.
Right on.
Some random tapes that I had Denver from November '73. Full set of Jerry's studio work in a box set. But I used to record years ago.
It's so weird.
In fact, I recorded what I guess some people consider kind of crappy quality today. The definitive recording from Watkins Glen, from the Dead, from that show.
From Watkins Glen?
Yeah.
The Watkins Glen show?
The Watkins Glen show.
Wow, I've always wanted to hear. Did they play together? Did the band play with the Dead at all at that show?
At the very end, the Dead and the Allman Brothers and the band all played together.
Yeah.
At the very end.
It's amazing. You know, like Lee Von Helm, okay? Like, I'm such a fan of Lee Von Helm. Like, I'm just a jerk with Bob Weir for some reason. There's something about Bob Weir
because
that
he annoys people. He was a jerk to people. He was Bobby.
It wasn't that. It's his voice. He had such a put-on voice. He would really put it on, like compared to Jerry, who would like really lay back.
Well,
and like that's why like Levon, when Levon did the ramble, it was so good.
I was going to ask if you ever went up to one of his rambles.
No,
no,
I didn't. I always thought I'd get a chance to, but I never did.
No. See, I think the difference between Bobby and Jerry is Jerry sang from the heart. Bobby assumes the character of the narrator of the song. So he's acting.
Like El Paso or something.
Yeah. So he's the he's the cool gunslinging cowboy. And I have to admit, I always liked Bobby's cowboy songs, and I always hated myself for liking Bobby's cowboy sons.
Like what are his like give me an example.
Mexicali Blues,
Yeah,
Jack Straw, El Paso, Big River.
Yeah, those are all good though. But those are all
I know, and I hated myself for liking his cowboy songs because sometimes he could get really cheesy in his performance.
But it was authentic, it felt good, as long as he stayed in that, I don't know, it worked. That shit worked.
Look, I grew up at a time, to me, the Grateful Dead was Jerry Garcia, Pigpen, Bob Ware, Phil Lesh, and Mickey and Billy. The worst thing ever was Donna Jean Godchaux. So.
Well, I think it got worse. At least at the Donna shows, like, the music was still happening. What's his face? What was the guy's? Keith was so good.
Keith was an amazing piano player.
And he was a good harmony singer. He was good. But I thought the days with Wynton Marsalis were the worst. Like, I just was like, I don't want to hear that.
I never liked having other musicians play, particularly horns. To me, that's not what I was going to a Dead show for.
I always wanted The Last Jewish Waiter to be able to have an element of that, like that Bobby thing that you're talking about, to be able to like have a musical person come in and just show a song, like have somebody play in the back of Katz's. It sounds so good in there, but everyone's like, nobody wants to see a song.
Nobody wants to see that, huh? All right.
Jeffrey, thank you, though. I appreciate this a lot.
Happy New Year, Dave. Thanks.